Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Oluwasegun Kolawole. I'm a tech career coach. I'm a product manager. So here I talk about product management, leadership, and even kickstarting a tech career. By the way, if this is your first time of coming into this channel or seeing my video, welcome to this channel. Here I discuss those things I mentioned already: tech career, product, and leadership. Today we're going to be talking about something about product managers. This is a major problem that they face at work, and that's you get into a company or you got a role and they told you you're going to be managing product X. Fast track into about 3 months, you end up having like 2 projects or even 3 projects that you're managing at the same time, and this may become tasking at times, and you have issues with managing and following the normal processes that you follow. E.g., you have daily stand-up that you have to have, like daily stand-up, your retrospective, your sprint reviews, and several other things that you're supposed to have on a very good day. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can manage these things effectively, whereby you're able to keep on pushing quality into the market while you are also managing your time as a product manager. So I'm going to mention the 3 things like I said. Number 1, use the time blocking strategy. So what is time blocking? Which is you have specific times that you want to do a few things. Oh, okay, instead of having daily stand-ups day in, day out, it can be really tiring. You have daily stand-up for almost all the projects. Some project managers actually go through the route of, okay, let us have it together. You gather the whole team and you get to know whatever they have worked on. Sometimes I don't buy into that approach because it may be tasking at times that you may not be able to track effectively. So time blocking is very important, whereby you might rather just say every Friday, team X, we are going to be meeting for our stand-up. Every Wednesday, team Y, let's meet. And every Monday, let's meet. It could be twice in a week that you want to do it, or 3 times, or maybe 1 time. It depends on you, depending on how well you can give time to it. The major thing here is time blocking. Don't just set spontaneous meetings. At the very end, you will not be able to track your productivity, whether you're really doing well or not. Time blocking is also important because you're able to get your own time for yourself, and you're able to set, okay, on Tuesday, I'm supposed to meet this team. Everybody on the team already have an idea of we are meeting. Then they know that they should come into the meeting with deliverables. If they do not have deliverables, what happens as a product manager? You do the normal bashing or lashing or telling them, no, this is not how we work and we should improve or do something very much better. So try this time blocking approach. Number 2, I've always mentioned this in product management talks where I've advised people set systems and structure. So project management tools really help a lot. Now I'm going to be talking about how I personally manage my projects, because I have to manage like 3 projects, 4 projects, or even 5 at times. Sometimes you want to run side gig, you want to run company-based projects at all, and you want to see how can I do this effectively. You know, developers can easily pick up different projects because most of them are actually not managers, so they just do the work in such a spontaneous way. So you have to get these guys to be structured enough. Number 1 thing that you're supposed to do when you're setting structure is that have a project management software that you use, either Jira, ClickUp, Asana, Trello, or any project management tools. I think Notion can also be used, depending on the one that work for you, where you are able to document what everybody needs to do, and that certain system and structure help you to manage your time. Why? Because somebody is supposed to work on something. Use user flow diagram or flow charts where you have complex use cases. Yes, you can have complex use cases whereby the end-to-end is really very long and it has different scenario, which means, okay, if it follows the scenario A or it follows the alternate B, so where you have a lot of alternate flows, you want to try those things out so that everybody is on the same page. Another thing you want to invest in when it comes to setting structure is when your team is very much educated about what you all are doing. Something happens, they tend to give you suggestions or correction towards some things that you have mentioned in the acceptance criteria. So when you document most of these things, it's going to help the people you're working with, and they won't call you over and over for meetings. Don't forget, you are trying to manage your time by setting structure. Then the system I'm talking about is, since you know the things you're supposed to do part-time, today you're supposed to do to write your user story, Tomorrow you're supposed to design your user flow diagrams, or you're supposed to have meetings those days. Stick to those meeting days while you prepare this acceptance criteria and user stories. Most of the time, the people I work with, it's difficult for them to come to me to tell me they don't understand this, they don't understand that. Especially when you are dealing with your stakeholders, to find a means for side gig majorly, or company that have their business analysts around. One of the things you can do is, when you use platforms like Jira, you can create subtasks. And when you create subtasks for everybody that's working on a specific task, create your user story where you have your front-end developer, client, person that is going to be working on it, the back-end person that is going to be working on it. Create a subtask, and where content is necessary to be inserted, put or create a task under it and link everything into it. That way, if you organize the things you have, whereby you need somebody to take a picture, upload such picture in a drive and put the link inside the ticket. Find a way in which the task that you have created is self-explanatory. That way, they don't come to you every time to come and ask you. That's a system you have set in place, where anybody that asks you for these things, you just give them, okay, go look at this, go look at that. And that's one of the things that you can do for yourself to run your project smoothly. Nobody will really come to you and ask you, what should I do? At this time, you may actually dedicate mid of the night, or let me say, a private time to do most of these things and get all these diagrams out. That way you help yourself with redundancy. Yes, you don't have to have meeting with A, B, C, D, E. Sometimes you have up to 12 people you're working with. Would you continue to do this? This is not really cool. So when you set this in place, it's going to help you a lot. Now, number 3 thing I'm going to be mentioning is task delegation. Yeah, how do you divide your dev team? Trust me, project managers or product managers, most of the times when they start a product, they don't get to have Scrum Master at the beginning. So when I'm training product managers, I train them as though they are going to be managing the developers, managing the UX, and also managing the business team, where we have the sales and the marketing experts. In this case, you need to delegate tasks to people. Have a lead front-end engineer, have a lead back-end engineer, have a lead designer most of the time. So front-end engineer could be clients, guys who are working on mobile app development or desktop or whatever they are doing. Those that actually present the user interface. Those are the client guys. What about the back-end engineers? There are people that use Node.js, the server-side engineers. If you have up to 4 engineers where you have 2 on each side, don't try to manage each of them. It may be difficult for you. So delegate it such that you have the lead of the backend. So you only speak to one person. The other person speaks to other people. That is a very smart approach when you're dealing with engineers. Also, tie the productivity to the leader. So you are given this task, then share it with the person you're working with, and you guys must be able to come up with this by this time. So have agreed deliverables. Talk about the designer. Make sure the acceptance criteria for the designer is well and very clear. Engage your designer or even your developer. Engage them when you're making a decision on how some things will look, the kind of buttons you want to use. Engage the head of engineering in your team, or whoever that you know that, okay, will be in charge of decision making for the engineers. It's very important. You don't have to go back and forth on the project. And another thing is, okay, you're working with the backend engineer. Definitely the backend guys most of the time handle the DevOps. If you have a small team where you don't have DevOps engineer or server or system admins, if you don't have those guys, the backend engineer most of the time stand in place. Or even if you are working with full stack developers, have the same person that is dedicated to doing those things. And also, when you're starting most projects, if they are side gigs, cultivate the habit of creating an email. When you create a new email, give it out to all those developers, and everybody has the accounts and they start pushing all their codes to GitHub. Something happens with most freelance and side gigs that people get is that you don't have all the code at once. You don't have it in a single place. For your Namecheap, for domain, for your server, host, and some of these things, ensure to use a single email for most of these things so that you can remember easily. These are things that happen to projects that people work on that they don't remember along the line. What email did we use to create the GitHub account? What did we use for this and that? Since they are client-based projects, they may not want to give you their original email. Create a new email for them. where they are able to use this email and tie it to their account, and you present the project to them. Delegation is actually very important for any project that will go live easily. Because you're a product manager, these three things, or a project manager per se, these three things I believe will help you. Make sure you're able to block your time. Make sure you are able to do a lot of delegation where you don't have to be. Let the lead engineer explain things to the subordinate engineers, and also learn how to set system and structure by setting up detailed acceptance criteria or user stories where anybody that is coming into it can literally understand what they need to do without having to disturb you. So invest time into doing that. If you found this video insightful so far as a project manager, or even if you're a scrum master, or even if you have a product manager that you're working with at the moment, I feel we need most of these things I'm mentioning, someone who is clamoring for time, share this video and ensure it gets to that person. And also subscribe on this channel so you can get more and more of my content, amazing content that are coming up soon. Bye.